years of age. And so if he was 47, then that means that he is he was less than 4 years older than me, and he pastored three churches and was a great preacher. And a few weeks ago, he just died. They don't know whether it was a brain aneurysm or a heart attack or what, but he died. And I thought about, and it was so suddenly, and nobody expected it. And his best friend was talking about it, and others were talking about it, and they gave him several going home celebrations at one of the largest churches in Los Angeles, and preachers and pastors from everywhere came to offer their condolences and to celebrate his home going. And so what I struggle with is the balance between the things that we want to accomplish as earthlings, our goals and the things that we want to do in life, and the lack of joy that we tend to have for the things that have already been done for us. I mean, God has already been good to us. He has already blessed us. He has already given us 10,000 mercies that we would never deserve. And so I always want to be, if I can, in a position of humility, in a position of grace, in a position of thankfulness, and to thank God for all of the many blessings that He has bestowed upon me. Turn left onto the I-10 because West I realize that He has been good, and that there but for the grace of God go I. And I started wondering about Dr. Broadus, a guy I never met, and I say to myself, I wonder how much of what he did will live on after him. I wonder how much of what he said and how much of what he taught and how much of what he thought, for that matter, will live on beyond him. And his legacy becomes so important. And I will admit that even at just 43, when I could possibly live another 50 years.
In a quarter mile, keep right at the fork to continue on exit 11. Follow signs for Western Avenue.
Another 60 years, who knows? But even with 30 or 40 more, that's a long time. You understand me? And all the things that I want to accomplish, I couldn't get to them in one podcast. But in terms of legacy, I'm like, all these sermons I preach, I wonder how many of them will live beyond me. And I think about how exciting I get when I'm writing a sermon, and how I'm thinking God's going to do this through that sermon and say that through this sermon, and this sermon means this and that sermon means that. And I just find myself wondering how much of all of this writing, all of this studying, and all of this teaching, and all of this preaching, how much of this is going to live beyond me when I'm in heaven, and my body has gone to its eternal rest, and my soul has gone to its eternal rest. How much of this stuff that I'm preaching and teaching is going to live behind me? How many of you all would dare even be interested if it were you? I mean, it may not be you may be gone too, but your children, children. How many would even be interested enough to, oh Lord, glory to God, to want to hear what Sherman has to say, to go back in time and listen to these words? How many of you will want to remember what I had to say? You understand? I'm GPSing that phone just fell down under the seat. And I like y'all don't know what that's like. I know all y'all listening have gone through that. You've gone through that. You've been GPSing, and in the middle of that, your phone falls down, and you're trying to drive, and you don't know whether to pull over to the side of the road or reach down here and try to grab it up. Woo, boy. Little stuff like that can be so